We all know by now that the T-sides can be a little bit annoying to play. To always get a lot of rounds is to have something we call a map control. It is exactly what it sounds like. The more area of the map you successfully control, make your decisions deadlier, while the CTs are only guessing. This is all obvious to you, but it begs the question: what map control makes the biggest difference? We've tasked the data specialist to figure it out on every single map, and the results? Well, they're surprising even to me. In this video, we will go over each map in the pool and show you the most overpowered spots to take at the start of the round, because they skyrocket your chances of winning the round. Everything supported by the data of thousands of rounds from professional play. But if it works at the top level, chances are it will be even more effective in your games on Faceit or Premiere, where chaos thrives and there is even less structure to truly abuse this. And if you want to abuse all this data to your advantage for some maps, I prepared a small play that you can use to obtain this control either by yourself or with a little help of your friend in the queue. Are you ready? Let's do it! First, let's understand the data and how we collected it. We highlighted few important zones on the map that are obtainable at the start of the round on T side. Then we ran a calculation. Only rounds where average economy per player was at least 3800 were taken into account from tier 1/tier 1.5 games since IEM Cologne 2025. If Ts made it into this zone by first 30 seconds, we calculated how often they win the round, and then we compared it how often they win the round when they're not in this zone. This difference is called a delta. If the delta is a big positive number, it means the win rate goes up by a lot and therefore is really effective to take. If delta is around 0, it usually means the zone isn't as important as it might look. And if delta is negative, it actually lowers your chances to win the round, probably due to risk of getting the zone in the first place. Oh, and we also did a combination of these zones, if you own multiple of them at the same time and how that changes. It's exciting. Shout out to B-Trams for all the help, go follow him on X, but now let's start with everyone's favorite, Mirage. By the way, all this data, free to use, down in the description. It's a long Google document, but feel free to use it if you know how to read this data. So, these are the zones we are interested in. Let's pause the video and try to think of which zone is, in your opinion, the deadliest when Ts enter it within first 30 seconds of the round. Which one yields the best chance to win the round? If you set connector, your chances raised from 46% to almost 56%. So the delta is 10%, which is pretty good. But in window, this delta is the biggest. Your chance to win the round almost hits 70%, but understandably, you need a friend to boost you there silently. Interesting zone is ladder, which gave you 45% win rate if you do not control the zone, but goes up to 66% if you do. Another huge delta of over 20% difference. And this zone is way easier. You can take it by yourself with a simple play in pucks like this. Let your teammate instantly smoke top mid, followed by an insta window smoke. You're on top mid to throw a molly into connector, and you will push this top mid smoke while looking to short all the time to scale into ladder. Your teammate, after those two smokes, comes top mid and throws these two flashes. These blind connector and short at the same time, so it creates timing for you to cross this dangerous line from con without getting shot in the back. To talk about those combinations of zones, having one player in window and one player out A boosts your chances to win the round to 85%. This is extreme case though, and this chaotic round happened only 7 times, so the margin of error is big, but I thought I would mention it anyway. Before we move to the next map, which is Nuke, let's have a quick word from the sponsor. We're talking about the theory of how to win more often, but even best strats and moves are useless if you simply can't hit your shots. That is why Refrag comes into play as a sponsor of today's video. Refrag is a perfect tool for players who wish to improve mechanically and with proper routines. With more than 500,000 users and many trusted pros, dive into the collection of dozens different drills. All of these drills are slightly different, but they share the main concept. They are challenging based on your own skill set, they're fun, and they are randomized, so you can't fake your improvement through memorizing patterns. Also, don't worry if you're unsure what your weaknesses are. Refrag analyzes your gameplay to reveal what you're missing and gives you clear, actionable advice and routines to practice. Oh, and the best part, you get to try it for free to see if you vibe with it. Just head over to refrag.gg/redeem and use code STYKO, which will help me and therefore this channel grow. Crow. Thank you Refract for sponsoring my content, and now let's get back to the video. So Nuke, here are two cool spots that I want to talk about with delta over 10 points. One is secret, but I must admit taking secret can be a painful thing in pucks because of the precise smoke walls, but in team environment you pretty much must take this part of the map, or at least fake taking it. However, another interesting spot is the vent. Actual vent dive at the start of the round boosts your chances to 55% because it breaks a lot of rotations. You threaten B side, but you are still flexible to go back to A later. And on pucks, getting into vent isn't a rocket science. Having good spawn is a must, and then breaking door, throwing a lurk smoke by yourself, and flashing gives enough cover to dive. You might as well ask for these flashes from a friend, or these simple flashes through broken door into main. You are killable, and yes, this is risky, but there are no safe, fast plays on you. Use it with caution, but if you get into vents, now you know you're the one in the advantage. What about the newbies though? This one is fun. We focused on these 4 zones, and let's do this exercise again. Post the video, which one do you think has the best delta? Might be intuitive that it is A main or perhaps mid, right? They're very forward positions. Well, they actually have a negative delta. Your chances of winning round taking these zones is lower than if you take it late into the round. What about cave though? Very close to the side, you immediately force CTs to play elsewhere. Let me blow your mind. The best delta of 12% is for jail on B. When you do not enter this zone, your chance is 52%. But if you enter here, it's 64.2. Crazy, right? Because you do not even need any crazy play to take the zone. Most of the players, especially in lower elo, just smoke B main by default on CT side, which is a huge mistake you rarely see in pro play. And this is the reason. Do not give a free way to terrorists making it into jail, because they will be a pain in the ass to deal with later in the round. You just deny yourself a vital information if you smoke B main on CT side. For Ancient, we focused again on 4 zones, and here they are. These need a bit context because honestly all of them are having insanely positive deltas. House almost 25%, Donut with even more, 31%. But these positions are usually a byproduct of winning a midfight, which most likely results in already a great situation for the T's and most likely end up in advantage. What about cave though? That one sits just shy of 18%, which is still very high. This just shows how important the midfight on this map is, because through that you can snowball the round heavily into whatever direction you prefer. But I see a lot of players trying to press towards window and house most of the time instead of going donut, which is statistically a slight inaccuracy because donut yields better results. Inferno is a little bit scuffed. I think the main reason is amount of utility that CTs throw at the start of each round that makes it very hard to take fast control without taking too much risk. These 4 zones were measured and these were the results. Taking sandbags is deliberate zone here. I didn't just want to measure taking car because you do not directly threat CTs with that zone. With sandbags you are actually peeking into B side, which usually forces first smoke out of CTs on B, and that is a good thing if you do it as early in the round as possible. In general, this map is way easier to play if you approach it slower on the T side. That and the amount of saves from CTs makes this map by far the least enjoyable map to watch at the big tournaments. Tactical and slow crawls over flashy highlights are just not that exciting, right? Dust 2 sits in similar fate. Here I only picked 3 zones to analyze, and we found something interesting. Taking one of these early does not move needle much. They improve the chances, but only by 1 to 3%. This again shows that Dust 2 is not about what zones you take, but how you take them. Having a lot of utility is a must to neutralize opers and push away riflers from strong spots. Playing Dust 2 and taking zones during default is simply impossible without supportive utility. And on top of that, CTs have so many opportunities for aggression into the middle, into the lower tunnels, short, upper tunnels, and that slows down the gameplay a lot for the T's, making our 30-second timestamp a bit difficult to achieve. Lastly, we have Overpass, and here we experimented with 5 zones. The main takeaway is noting how important A control is. For both banana and long toilets, we improve our chances by more than 8%, which is huge considering this is the most CT-sided map in the pool. Slightly aggressive position towards B around sandbags grant us only slightly below 6% degrees. But I wanted to choose something specific around long, and these 2 zones get delta of 21% and 32.8%. That is huge. Unfortunately, we only have small sample size to work with, but notice how close together these three zones are, yet we're seeing incredible difference in how effective they are. If you're able to cross into these positions without being picked by an opper, you put your team in a really good spot. So if you know CTs are without an op, try it out. Let me know how it goes. This video got real nerdy real fast, right? But I think it is important for people to understand this is an esport. We are here to optimize and chase the best results possible. Analytics at this point are part of the game, and it's only a matter of time before stats like these are pushed into the general audience too. If you watch the best tournaments in the world, you already notice these patterns. So with my explanation and data today, I hope you understand the depth we're working with. If you enjoyed this video, I plan on gathering data for the best CT positions as well and angles to play on every single map. Again, backed by science. If you vibe with that, let me know and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss it. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye. Shout out to you, all of my Patreons and Coffee members, for your continual support. It allows me to create more content like this. Your name is on the screen right now as a little token of appreciation. I used Coffee for years, where you can find extra content and perks at various tiers of membership, but due to popular demand, I set up Patreon too. Nothing changes, both platforms are treated equally, with same content, just for your convenience to use whichever side you prefer. Thank you for making my videos better and possible.